my name is Kate McMahon, and I'm your host today for Profile. And I'm really excited to introduce our guest today. Today we have Dean Nicastro, and Dean is currently on the Chatham Select Board and seeking re-election. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Looking forward to our conversation so you can share with the viewers your background as a professional as well as your work with the Select Board thus far.
Well, thank you. Yes, well, first, I very much appreciate the opportunity to be invited here to the Media Center. It's a first-time visit, and I'm very impressed with what you have here. As you mentioned, I'm currently a member of the Select Board of the town of Chatham. I'm completing my 6th year. I've been elected twice, and I'm seeking a 3rd term. I am a year-round resident of the town of Chatham in my 29th year. Voter and taxpayer. Originally came from Quincy, where I was born. Grew up, went to school there, and went to school in Boston for high school at the Jesuit school up there. And then I got my bachelor's degree from Harvard College and my law degree from Harvard Law School, and embarked on a career as a lawyer and practiced law for nearly 4 decades in a variety of different settings, including work as a private practice attorney, both solo and with a couple of Boston law firms. Mm-hmm. But the bulk of my career was as an in-house attorney, in-house counsel, starting with the Attorney General's office under former Attorney General Bellotti. I was in the eminent domain division and in the utilities division, and those were trial divisions. So I had some trial experience in the civil courts and also before the Department of Public Utilities, where we litigated rate cases for the utility companies, telephone, gas, electric. Following that, I joined the City of Quincy Law Department as an assistant city solicitor, and then I became the city solicitor. So I was chief legal officer to the city government, to the corporation, and the advisor to the mayor and to the city council and to the various municipal boards. And I was able to gather significant experience in municipal law, contracting, bidding, conflict of interest, open meeting law. All the different departments were advised by the city solicitor's office and so forth. Then I joined the Massachusetts Medical Society, which is the state physicians organization, as an associate counsel, and eventually became their vice president and general counsel. So I was their chief legal advisor. That was the largest stint of my professional career, and it was somewhat similar to being a city solicitor, because as in-house attorney you do a lot of things and a lot of little things, and you do a few really big things. So some of the same issues: contracting, compliance with regulatory rules, advising the society on its legislative policy. We were working on issues like medical malpractice reform and the regulation and discipline of physicians, licensure of physicians, managed care reform, and so forth. So that's my background as an attorney. I'm pretty much retired from formal practice, and a few years ago, a friend of mine encouraged me to get involved in town government here in Chatham, which is a town that I fell in love with, as most people do when they first visit. That's what happened to me. And so I was appointed to serve on the Chatham Finance Committee by the town moderator, and I served there for, I think it was about 3.5 years. And the Finance Committee in Chatham is basically a warrant committee. It's they advise town meeting with recommendations on all the warrant articles, including non-financial articles. So it was sort of like being a selectman without the responsibility of having to run for office. And I enjoyed that very much. And when back in 2015, there was an opening. There were two openings on the board, on what was then called the Board of Selectmen. I ran along with Corey Metters, and we both were unopposed when we got elected. And then 3 years later, we both ran for re-election, and that was a contested election, and we were both re-elected. So I've been on the board for 6 years, and I have decided I would like to seek a third term. So
That's great.
So that's
great.
kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, you love the place of Chatham, and it sounds like you're really giving back. That's wonderful.
Well, I think, that's one thing about Chatham. The people in our town, even our summer residents, really feel committed to the town. And we have a lot of very talented people and people that are passionate about various issues. And they do want to give to the town.
That's wonderful.
And, if I can be a small part of that, I'm happy to try to do that.
That's great. That's great. So you have been on the select board for 6 years, so I'm sure you've seen a lot of different and varied things. You want to share with us any of the highlights or lowlights?
Sure. Well, we're a small town. We have about 6,000 people during the off season. We're going to swell up to about 30,000 this summer. And we have, at the same time, we have the same kinds of challenges that most other towns do, plus some unique ones. Given our geographic location, our waters are very dynamic. One of our issues over these recent years, and even in the distant past, and will continue going forward to be an issue, is coastal resiliency. We have a very significant dredging program. The Select Board has supported that. We have another article to provide funding for dredging on the warrant. We've done a lot of work on infrastructure, the waterfront infrastructure. We've redone the deck on our fish pier, which is one of the most popular spots in town. And we've also undertaken some safety-related work associated with that project. We're trying to separate the visitors from the fishing operations, because it can be very dangerous if they mix in. We acquired something called the Trap Dock, which is down on the Stage Harbor side, and we built a new dock there for our commercial fishing community. We have the largest commercial fishing operation in New England, and because our waters are so dynamic and they shoal up, the future of fishing on the Chatham Harbor side, the Atlantic side, is always in jeopardy. So we felt it was important to provide some venue for fishing to continue on the south side, on the Nantucket Sound side. We continue with our wastewater program. Chatham was really farsighted in this.
Yes.
And of course now we've got this new Cape-wide fund and board, and we were able to secure wording in the legislation that Senator Sear filed and got enacted to allow Chatham to recoup some of the monies that we advanced to begin that program. I served as the Chatham representative, one of the Chatham representatives on the intermunicipal agreement with the town of Harwich, where they're going to tie into our system. That's underway now for East Harwich to be able to sewer. And I've been working on one of the projects that's going to be on the warrant for our June 12th town meeting is the Senior Center. I'm liaison to the Council on Aging, and I've been working with the seniors for a long time. They've been working on it even longer, even before I got on the board. And we have, I think, a very good model to put in West Chatham at that little stretch that's been the subject of roadway renovation. We have some roundabouts that are in place now. I just drove through it again on the way here, and I think the Senior Center is going to be a nice shot in the arm for that little village center, which we're trying to enhance.
Yes.
I've been working with our board members on matters related to housing. We have a number of initiatives that are going on the warrant for town meeting to try to boost the opportunity for younger families and working families to either stay or come into Chatham. The problem, as everybody knows, and it's Cape-wide, is that the cost of housing is just out of control. So we want to revamp the affordable housing trust that we have. We want to make it possible for to tap into funds so we can fund attainable housing.
Yes.
And so we have some pieces of legislation that are being proposed to go up to Beacon Hill, and one will revamp the trust, create 2 different funds, 1 board. It'll be a different board from what we have now. Right now it's all 5 select board members and two public members. This is going to just have 2 select board members and some public members that are interested in and experienced in or have expertise in the development of housing, plus a member of our Community Housing Partnership Committee. I proposed a measure to ask the legislature for permission to tap into our community preservation funds for attainable housing, because currently we can't use that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been an advocate for increasing the community preservation contribution to our affordable housing trust. It had been in the vicinity of $200,000 or so, and then it was boosted to about $400,000. The town administration requested $500,000. I suggested we go with $800,000, and the committee stepped up and they actually bumped it up to $1 million. Now you can't take $1 million every year out of that fund, but so we're working on those initiatives. Another big issue that we have begun working on is the future of our elementary school.
Mm.
We're in the district, the Monomoy Regional School District with the town of Harwich, and our share is just over 25% of the enrollment, and the contribution in Harwich is concerned because their costs are going up and actually ours have gone down. And the enrollments in our elementary school have dropped significantly, or the prospective enrollments, even more so than Harwich. And the regional agreement we have calls for an elementary school in each district, in each town. And our entire board, myself included, want to keep Chatham Elementary School open in the town of Chatham. I don't know what the ultimate solution is going to be. There are some financial implications. But I requested that we have a community forum on it, and we did recently, a couple of weeks ago. We learned some very interesting ideas from our parents and other community members. So that's a big issue. I have a couple of pet projects that I have initiated over the last couple of years. I was a strong advocate, and I think perhaps the leading advocate on the board, to acquire a parcel of land in the downtown called the Eldridge Garage property.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know where that is.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a transportation hub historically.
Mm-hmm.
There was a big old barn on it, which unfortunately had to be condemned. But we did save the gas station in front, and it's been painted nicely, so it looks a lot nicer than it had before. I wanted to avoid having that property just turned over and to development and see a McMansion on it. So we have we acquired it, and we appointed a special committee to come up with a set of recommendations, and I served on it along with our current chair, Shireen Davis. And we came up with a tripartite plan that would include parking, which we are doing right now, and we're actually testing out valet parking, and we're getting a little piece of the action for the town on that too. And adapting the gas station into some sort of a historical center that will illustrate the history of that particular property, and may serve as a minor transportation center with shuttles to the lighthouse or to the fish pier, that sort of thing. And the rear portion, which fronts onto a tidal basin, basically, we'll keep that pristine. And so we made the recommendations to the full board of the full select board, and they endorsed it. Unfortunately, it fell victim to COVID in terms of planning, but I'd like to see that brought to fruition. And then a second project, it's a little bit less visible, but I had in mind, had a conversation with one of our citizens, one of our residents, a part-time resident, a couple of years ago about possibly trying to entice an academic institution to come into Chatham and open a small research facility, which would create some jobs. And so we put together a working group, and we've been working on it for a couple of years, and we've had some interest from outside parties, and the focus would be on climate change, because we're ideally suited, given our and the coastal issues are ideally suited for that. So I'd like to see those brought to fruition. So these are matters that we have worked on, and at the same time, while we've done all of this, especially during the pandemic, I think the board has been very successful with working with the town manager and our staff in guiding the town through the pandemic. Last year, we pared down the budget. We had a core budget. This coming year, we'll have a level services, sort of a modified level services budget. Our budget is going to increase by, if you include the educational assessment, which is going down, our budget will actually increase by, I think, something under 2%, 1.5%. Without the education budget, it increases 2.5%. The tax rate is projected to go up less than 1%. We just got a AAA bond rating confirmed. So we're doing pretty decently financially, and I think we have a very well-functioning select board. I bring the legal expertise. I'm not town council. I don't function as that. I enjoy those issues, I must say, given my background. But I like to take each issue case by case. I don't have an agenda. I try to listen to what people have to say. I listen to my colleagues. I do whatever research I think is important, and then I make my decisions. But we also have on the board a CPA, an engineer who used to be an Air Force colonel, a business person, a merchant downtown, and a fishing person who also has a business, has had a business downtown. So it's a good mix.
Yeah.
And we have people
backgrounds.
that, I came from another community, but I've been here a pretty long time. And one of the other members came from another community, but we also have people that were born and grew up in Chatham. So it's a good mix. We don't always agree on everything, but I think as a group, we've really helped the town through a very difficult period. Hopefully we're coming out of it. We're going to have a parade. We just voted to have the parade the other night.
Great.
Yeah, our Board of Health withdrew its original concern, and the parade committee came forward and asked us if we could go forward. We're going to have fireworks on July 1st. So things are looking bright. It's going to be very challenging this summer, though, because everybody on the Cape is expecting a huge influx of people.
I've noticed a difference in traffic just in the last couple of weeks.
Yes,
so,
I have too.
Yeah.
I have really, myself.
Yeah, we just have to hope that everybody's patient, since it's very difficult to find, or at least I'm hearing that from friends that are in business, to find employees.
Yes, we had someone, and the other night there's a change of ownership in one of our restaurants downtown, and it was a husband and wife, I believe, and they have been in the restaurant business in Harwich. And I asked if they were having any difficulty finding people, and they said they were. And I hear that everywhere. You see the help wanted signs in front of almost every shop.
Right.
And it's it's going to be a challenge, but we will get through it.
Yeah.
I'm confident of that.
We will. We will. And it'll be a good boost for our economy.
Yes, it will. Very much
There have been so many initiatives that Chatham has been involved in and at the forefront. Thank you for sharing all of that.
Yeah.
Between the, sewering, the project down at the fish pier, the importance of attainable housing. It's
Yeah,
big.
I forgot to mention, yes, you're absolutely right. There's a lot going on. I think we have a very enlightened town government, enlightened town manager, and we give her the opportunity to do what she needs to do to make the town run, and she will defer to us on the setting of policy, which is the way our charter works. I wanted to mention the public library. We talked about the fish pier. The two biggest attractions in town are the fish pier and the library. And our library is a gem, the Eldridge Public Library. Most libraries are.
Yes.
And it's very popular. And the building is owned by the town. It's an architectural masterpiece. They're celebrating their 125th anniversary on July the 11th. I'm the liaison from the Select Board to the Library Board, and they are undergoing some very significant repairs. The town owns the building. There's a new slate roof going up right now. There's some additional work that's hopefully going to go forward. It's the subject of a couple of warrant articles at town meeting to enhance the landscaping, but also improve the safety of access to the library. So, and it's right in the, as you know, it's right in this downtown center.
Exactly.
So it's a beautiful.
It is. It's gorgeous.
Structure.
I've been inside. It is beautiful.
It really is. It really is. And they've had to deal with the COVID issues.
Right.
It's not wide open inside. So they're taking a very deliberate approach to reopening, as is understandable. But you're absolutely right. Chatham has been in the forefront of a lot of things, and I'm happy to be a small part of that if I can. So
that's great. I'm hoping that you can share with our viewers how the election will work this year. My understanding is it's a bit different.
Well, June 17th is Election Day. We postponed it from what we typically have would be a May election. We moved town meeting to June 12th, which is a Saturday, open air town meeting. And I think it's going to be well attended because there are a lot of issues on it for that. The election is on June 17th, which is a Thursday. And you can vote in person as usual, but also there is early voting. But it's early voting by mail only. And I just sent in my application for an early vote. I'll be at the polls probably holding a sign. But I would encourage anyone who feels more comfortable voting by mail to contact the town clerk's office. You can do it in several ways. You can go on the town website and download an early voting application, vote by mail application. It's very simple to fill out. I think you had to put in addition to your signature, just insert one or two items, background that's called for. It's the Secretary of State form. Or you can go to the town offices right in the vestibule. There are a stack of them. You can pick one up there. Or you can call the town clerk's office or email the town clerk's office and they'll send you one. You fill it out and you can drop it off in the town clerk's lockbox outside of the town offices, or you can put it in the mail, or you can even do, as I did, was I scanned it in and emailed it to the town clerk. And those are available now. That application's available now and has been for some time. My understanding is that the actual ballots will start going out once they're back from the printer, I think on the 27th. So that's tomorrow.
Right.
Or is it? No, that's
today.
That's today. I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up. Yeah, today. I think that's when the ballots were supposed to come back. I had a conversation with the town clerk recently about it, so it might be a day off here or there. But people will start getting their ballots, can fill them out and mail them in.
That's great.
Those will be counted. We had a huge participation in early voting in the previous elections where it was permitted. But we had early voting in person as well back pre-pandemic.
Oh, okay, I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, but this cycle early voting is by mail only.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be surprised if more than a majority vote by early voting.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
myself.
Some people want to vote in person on election day, and they'll do that too. So.
Yeah. I was surprised. I helped in my village during the election cycle.
Yeah.
And I was surprised at the amount of people. We were anticipating, they told us bring a book, there was no time.
Yeah,
Just
I'm not
ran
surprised.
all day.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It was like 60%, I think, that voted early
Yeah.
in previous elections.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
it's great. It's a great opportunity to exercise your franchise
Yeah.
in a way that is totally convenient.
Right.
There's no excuse for not voting, really.
I agree. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers today?
Well, I think I would just invite everybody in the town of Chatham to register to vote and to vote, whatever your preference is. And when it comes to the Select Board, there are 2 positions held currently by 2 incumbents, and I would very much appreciate it if you would consider voting for me. I think I've accomplished a number of things in the course of the past 6 years, and I would like to continue working on those important matters going forward, and I very much ask for your vote. So thank you very much, and thank you for the time to be here today. I appreciate coming out here and visiting with you on your program, and I look forward to seeing it.
Thank you so much sharing all of the information and all the work that your select board is doing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
And thanks for joining us today for our profile, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.